we have gone through this exercise. We have asked for help to get into as precise a right place as we're able to get to right now. Yes. Now, when we open our eyes, we can assume that it isn't going to look like what we think, because that's almost always what happens. And so that's okay, yes? To work through that process and come to discover how this is our right place, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, now gently start to open the eyes, and let's ask ourselves orienting questions. Is it inside or outside? And the answers will presumably vary.
Yeah, the answers vary widely.
Is it day or night?
The answers are also varying.
It will vary.
This is true.
And are you alone or with someone? Because it's dependent on the definition of sentience, right?
That's true.
Alone or with someone? The answers vary.
Yes, answers vary.
Standing, sitting, or lying down? Answers vary. What kind of surface are you on?
Answers vary.
Become aware of your feet. Are they bare, or is there something on them?
The answers are varying.
Whew. With that becoming aware of the feet, many people are settling into their feet more, becoming more present. And now become aware of your lower legs. Are they bare, or is there something on them? Becoming aware of your upper body. Is it bare, or is there something on it?
Your answers are varying.
Yes. Become aware of the emotional climate. Are you feeling happy, sad, or some other way? Answers vary. And now become aware of what's right in front of you. Start to describe it. Almost doesn't matter what you say.
Most of the presences say they're holding the hands of some other presence.
Yes.
And some other people are holding on to something else. That guy over there says he's holding on to a tree.
Yes.
The lady over there says she has a building, like her hands are on a building.
Yeah.
Everyone's hands are on something.
Something. Wonderful. This is where the most important commitment of our sentience is. And so now to start to swish the energy between us and this other presence, whatever the presence is, with their permission, of course, always asking permission, never forcing our energy on anyone or anything, yes?
That's true.
But it should feel soothing.
Yes, feels soothing. So far, so good.
Soothing in the way that doing the thing that's correct feels.
Yes, that's true.
And this doesn't necessarily mean that it feels safe. It doesn't necessarily mean that it feels pleasant by traditional definitions, but it's soothing because it feels truthful and correct.
Ah, this is true.
Begin to feel around for other identifying characteristics while still holding their hands, so you can feel with your feet or with your awareness. Don't let go of their hands, right? Where am I? What's going on? You could even ask them if they know. Ask them, do they know where we are? Does this other presence know where we are?
Lots of the other presences seem to know.
Yes.
Some of them don't.
Well, if the presences that know, ask if they've been waiting for you.
Yes.
Okay.
It seems like all the presences have been waiting.
They've been waiting. And do they have any kind of idea of how to get started? Oh no. Big brouhaha there. Big brouhaha. But these presences have been waiting. So friends, these people have been waiting for us. But now, in order to manifest the divine plan, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, find the other harnesses and begin to clip them in. If this presence in front of you is that most important presence, which we've already gone through, would it make sense to clip yourself to them by safety lines so we don't unintentionally float away from that presence who is most important to us.
Nodding.
Clipping yourself to the presence in multiple places, maybe like, I don't know, more like skydiving than scuba diving.
That's true.
Yes? Feeling clipped in?
Yes. This could be what this feeling is.
What?
Maybe we didn't really go over the topic of commitments to other lives in other dimensions.
Oh,
because there's some funkiness right there when we're asking everyone if they want to relate to this other presence. Maybe we didn't really go over
Well, we didn't. So, friends, here's a question that we have put on the table in a client session with the guidance that was available then. There are presences who have commitments in multiple dimensions simultaneously, and this seems to be occurring because the dimensions are separating from each other in an unusual, well, I don't know, in a way that we don't understand.
That's true.
And none of us have as yet figured out how to bilocate. We've asked many times for instructions on bilocation, and no one has as yet been able to instruct us on bilocation.
That's true.
Nobody seems to know how to do it.
No, that's true.
So, if this is our most important commitment, and it's an unfamiliar commitment to us,
Nodding, lots of nodding.
would it behoove us to become more familiar with it so we can actually make an informed decision about what it is we are supposed to be doing right now?
Lots of nodding. I don't feel any disagreement.
Would you come up with some kind of estimate of how much time does it typically take to gather adequate information? What we know from the workplace is it usually takes 90 days. Probation periods are usually 90 days. Yes? Would you be willing to give a 90-day inquiry to this presence that has sorted as your most important commitment right now? No. Would you be willing to give a 30-day commitment to your most... No.
No, wow.
Would you be willing to give a week-long commitment? It's kind of like, how about this? In Buddhism, the 10-day retreat is a common length. Would you be willing to go on a 10-day retreat with this presence who sorts energetically as your most important commitment? 10-day retreat from your normal life, 10 days.
Now I feel nodding.
A 10-day retreat.
Nodding.
Okay?
Nodding, people nodding. Wow, I didn't see that coming.
Well, it's not a surprise here. Okay, 10 days. And to those of you who are not willing to give 10 days, would you be willing to give 7 days?
Nodding, some nodding.
And to those who are not willing to give 7 days, and what am I doing? I'm listing the standard times of Buddhist retreats.
That's true.
10 days, 7 days, and 3 days. 3 days is the minimum time.
Lots of presences are saying, oh yes, 3 days. I'd like 3 days, please.
Well, that's the absolute minimum time, and you're super uncool if you can't make it through 3 days.
That's true.
You're the biggest loser of all time in Buddhism, quote unquote.
That's true.
If you can't make it through a 3-day retreat. And of course no one will say that to you because Buddhists are polite, but they will most definitely be thinking it.
That's true.
Even though they say they aren't.
That's true. I heard the presence who said that.
Yes. So now, friends, this is the most important experience, rather the most important commitment of your experience of sentience right now. If you're only committing to 3 days, you've got to go through these 3 days not wasting a single moment. Would that make sense? To use the time wisely. Does anything matter more than coming to what's really going on? There's no agreement with that. There's no verbal, out loud disagreement because they know it's uncool, but they don't actually agree with it.
That's true. That's what this feeling is.
Are you willing to give it 3 days with this presence and to actually listen to them, to not block what they're saying, to really take in what this other presence is saying? And to these other presences, to really do your best. Do I have your commitment, the other presences, to really do your best to get through to these people about why this actually matters to them? And remember that everybody's self-centered, and this is not about these presences in particular, but you've got to sell them what's in it for them. Lead with the benefits. Every conversation is a sales conversation.
That's true.
Lead with the benefits. What's in it for them? Don't tell them how the situation needs them. They don't care. Tell them what's in it for them in the situation. Does that make sense?
Nodding, lots of nodding.
Do we have your commitment to stay in this space for 3 days? Give it 3 days. And if, as you pop out of this space, to be aware that you're being observed from above. Look up. See those red lights?